What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Monday, November 21st, 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I appreciate you all. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you saw the benefits of that Sun trine Jupiter. Yeah, wishing everybody well. It's Thanksgiving week, so it's another good reason to, right? I mean, whether you like the holiday or not, or whatever, the history is, blah, blah, blah. It's a thankful time, so we should all, let's find what we're thankful for this week and, look at all the opportunity and look at all the things that can expand. It's a new week. Let's go. Let's take a look at the astrology for this Monday. The moon's day. Well, the moon's going to finish up in Libra and ingress into Scorpio, but it is going to square Pluto first thing in the morning, early in the morning. And, oh yeah, intensity ramps up big time. And I think we have to take a big emotional look at a lot of things that are keeping us from balance and get into a place of transmutation of energy. We have to kind of let go of things. And I think that it's big with the sun at 29 degrees of Scorpio, the south node in Scorpio, and the moon coming back into Scorpio, which is rare, to see where we had a new moon, which was at 2 degrees, and it was a solar eclipse in Scorpio with the south node. And then we're coming back around and we have this intensity of the moon ingressing in and the sun ingressing out. And in the same sign, and the moon's dark and it's with the south node. This really is like we gotta let things go. We can't hold on to certain situations forever, certain people. We can definitely feel like an emotional need to be so wrapped up and immersed in something right now. And we have to remember to come back to our own sense of self and ground out, and then look at what's real and look at what is building and take our time and taste and feel and get the sensuality of reality without just this overcompensated passion. It's definitely a passionate day, but we can see too where, passionate energy can, it goes both ways. It's balance for everything. It's great to be passionate, but sometimes you can be overly passionate. And that's where you can start to, you can get people kind of repelling away from you because you're overly, like we got to find some happy medium here. It's definitely an intense day with that ingress and the moon coming into its fall position of Scorpio. It doesn't want to be here. So we're having to really understand that things have a life cycle to them. Everything has an expiration date. We might not linearly understand when or what that expiration date is, but I think today is a good opportunity to feel everything because the sun coming off that trine over to Jupiter, which is really stationed here, getting ready to come direct in just 2 days. There's huge opportunity out there from the universe, but we have to trust that, and we have to find a happy medium between boundaries and boundaryless. Scorpio deals with boundaries. The moon's here, sun's here. We have to put up certain boundaries in life. Pisces, there ain't no boundaries here. It's like the middle of the ocean or space or the universe. Like it's infinite, right? And it can feel that way if you got dropped in the middle of the ocean. Like, oh God, there's infinite waters, So it's finding a happy medium between, yes, there's an infinite quality to our physical reality, of course, but we also have to get back to where we can create healthy boundaries by getting out of unhealthy boundaries and transmuting energy and finding positives. I would say with Venus and Mercury coming to their exact conjunction by the end of the night and then still just staying with each other here for the new moon in Sagittarius, and they're going to be here for a few more days. Like, being able to express ourselves in a positive manner, having a positive outlook on life and feeling beautiful and kind of understanding your beauty in a way that frees you, understanding other people's beauty and their belief and their perspective in a way that frees you, meaning that with Mars retrograde here in Gemini, and it's finally starting to really break away and come to 21 degrees from that square to Neptune, everybody has a subjective truth. There can't just be one belief. There can't just be one way. It doesn't work that way. So I think we're at a point too where we have to understand that everybody has a belief, a story, a vision, an expanse going on, and it might be different one way or the other, but this is setting boundaries to find the people in our life, because I do think people are so important right now with Uranus and the North Node in Taurus, that are kind of aiming their arrow in a similar direction that you can have good back and forth banter with. If you can't have a conversation with somebody right now without just anger and a blow up and a, almost dogmatic sense of you're wrong, I'm right, this is the only way. These are things we want to pay attention to today because there's repulsion that's trying to happen. We want to find the magnetism of what's bringing us to a more positive way of communication, a more positive way of feeling comfortable in our own skin, and a more positive way of getting through energy and getting through the transmutation of maybe some really intense energy. Like, there is a surrender that we have to have, but it's definitely, it's a little bit of both, right? It's like move passionately, but don't, forget that there's a bigger plan out there for you, and don't forget that you can really tap into that intuitively today. But we can get caught up in obsessions, and we can get caught up in thinking that we have full control, and we don't. We don't have control of other people. We don't have control of the weather. There's so many things we don't have control over. But our own beliefs to rise through the darkness, to rise up like the phoenix, is potent right now. So we have to really look at that big expanse that can take place and look at positives and find the gratitude for the physical earth that we're on. It's not easy being human. Earth is not an easy stop for souls, but we come here and we learn a lot of these three-dimensional lessons, and I think that this is a time to learn that in the 3D matrix, time-space continuum, it's not always just a continuum. Like, things discontinue in life, and to be okay with things that get discontinued, it's okay. It's usually another something shows up in life to expand your perspective on another part of consciousness. So be open to all these things. I do think, today brings an intensity to it. We're seeing Venus and Mercury get close to Antares at 10 degrees actually of Sagittarius, which is, it's Archangel Uriel energy, but it is, draconic in many ways too, and it does represent in some ways a darker energy. It's the heart of the Scorpion if you're looking from a sidereal perspective of the zodiac, and Antares is the bright, red giant in the heart of the Scorpion. So we can definitely get way too obsessive over beliefs or the right way. People can be projecting that onto people. We're starting to see this, and we need to use the Sag energy from this tropical view and really expand and realize that we need to be watchers, right? Archangel Uriel is like a watcher, a guardian, right? So we have to watch and observe, and Saturn here in Aquarius at 19 degrees, starting to make that trine over to Mars, is saying that we can really watch and observe how people are thinking, what their communication is, how people are presenting themselves, how people are moving through life right now. And if we can be objective, we can understand a lot about not only people, but ourselves, without maybe some dogmatic sense of they're so wrong, I'm so right. Though that kind of energy can be really intense as we move through this week. And look, there's a lot of different truths in this life, and that's what Gemini teaches us, is there isn't just one truth. Sag is one big truth. Gemini's, everybody has one big truth. Doesn't mean that they're wrong. Doesn't mean that you're right. Doesn't mean that you're wrong. Doesn't mean that they're right. So remember that. If, there is a lot of very open conversation going on, and maybe you don't agree or you do agree. We are coming up on Thanksgiving, and we're going to have, for Thanksgiving, of course, that conjunction with Venus and Mars on Antares. So yeah, it's interesting. We're coming up on a lot of talking times, and there's a lot to talk about in this world. So realize that there's a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different visions. And, one thing too is we'll never know what another person is seeing this reality as. That's all unique to the person. So we have to accept that and create boundaries when necessary. It doesn't mean that we have to, believe somebody else's beliefs either, but the more we can at least have open debate without being upset, I think the more we're transmuting, and really our consciousness is taking a higher road, if you will. Let's see what's in the tarot for this Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend, of course. Hope everybody's doing well. I shuffle these cards a lot before I hit record, so I'll just do one more. They're pretty shuffled. All right, Seven of Cups upright. Definitely a lot is on the table right now, especially, with the Sun and Jupiter in trine and Jupiter in Pisces. There's a lot on the table, and I think a lot of it's about growth, right? So it's really kind of honing in on where the best growth for you can be found and expanding those things and really picking something that can seem like so much is happening at once right now that it kind of has our emotions all over the place, or we're feeling unsure. It's okay to be unsure. I think, deeper down or intuitively, you know what you really want to reach for. So go reach for that this weekend. And the Eight of Cups upright. Being able to turn our back on situations because we do intuitively know what we're reaching for and what we want, and the other stuff doesn't really matter. So stay focused on the things that make you happy, bring love into your life, and really let go of the stuff that, is dark or scary, or, you've had enough of it, or the time limit's up, the expiration date's hit. It's okay to move on to something else in life. That's life. We always move on into a new situation. We just have to turn our back on things. And if we don't turn our back on some things in life, then the universe rips things away, and it feels cataclysmic, if you will. So remember to follow, your inner guidance on this one. And the Ace of Cups in reverse, we're all trying to have this, cup overflow, and we're all trying to find all these positivities and look at things from this bigger perspective, and be spiritual and be conscious and awake and all these things. And, it's beautiful, but we have to also at the same time realize that the universe is working, and we all have lessons to learn, and it can feel like our cup is getting emptied constantly, and that's not happening by coincidence. It's happening because we need to go through these situations to learn to let go. It's going to be an emotional Monday, and it's the moon's day, and don't feel like your cup is just getting poured out, or that the universe doesn't want you to feel good. It does, but it also wants you to believe and have faith and transmute energy, and walk away from things that aren't bringing you happiness in life or love or what you want to feel. You need to realize that it's your job to change the story. Sorry, my nose started running. I appreciate you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful Monday, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love. Peace.